Faith under fire. I know that many of you are going through the greatest trial of your lifetime. Some of you are facing a crisis in your health that's life-threatening. Your faith is under fire. Some of you are in the midst of a business or financial crisis that's going to determine your financial destiny for the rest of your life. Your faith is under fire. Some of you are in a severe marital storm. Some have grown children and grandchildren whose hearts and lives have been broken because of divorce. Your faith as a family is under fire. Some are about to make personal decisions that will affect your life for the rest of your life. Your faith is under fire. The Bible is a book of fire. The Bible says our God is a consuming fire. Say that with me. Our God is a consuming fire. Why does God allow fiery trials? Listen, not to punish you, but to show you His awesome power to deliver you. That's why 1 Peter 1:7 reads, "These trials have come so that your faith, of greater value than pure gold, may be proved genuine and may result in praise, glory, and honor when Jesus Christ is revealed." Let's turn our thoughts to the most spectacular example of faith tested by fire in the Bible, the three Hebrew children. What did faith under fire produce for them? First, it produced for them what God is going to produce for you: victory, total victory. When you go to the fire, God does not send someone. He shows up Himself. He shows up Himself, a mighty deliverer. Turn to your neighbor and say, "I'm leaving today with total victory in my life." God did not promise smooth sailing, but He did promise a safe landing. That's God's promise to you. Read with me Daniel 3:16 through 18. Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego answered and said to the king, "O Nebuchadnezzar, we have no need to answer you in this matter. If that is the case, our God whom we serve is able to deliver us from the burning fiery furnace, and He will deliver us from your hand, O king. But if not, let it be known to you, O king, that we do not serve your gods, nor will we worship the gold image which you have set up." The music started, and millions of people bowed to the sound of the 6 instruments, bowing to the will of the state, just like now. Massive waves of human flesh are bowing their faces to a narcissistic leader, the anointed one, who in this case is called Nebuchadnezzar. Then it happened. Standing ramrod straight right up on the front row, it's Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego, 3 righteous Jews. Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego make you appreciate the names Tom, Dick, and Harry. As Orthodox Jews, they believe the 10 Commandments have said, "Thou shalt have no other gods before me." This politically incorrect behavior could not be tolerated by Nebuchadnezzar. They were brought immediately before him, and the Bible said he was furious. The king said, "Didn't you guys get the memo?" Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego said, "We got the memo. We just don't worship state-sponsored idols, and we do not bow before the godless demands of the state." Are you listening, America? Nebuchadnezzar was not accustomed to people talking back to him. They heated the fiery furnace 7 times hotter. The 3 Hebrew children were thrown into the fire. They were bound hand and foot. The fire was so hot that the mighty men of valor that threw them in were burned alive, because you couldn't get close to the fire without being consumed. Then came the most sensational display of God's supernatural power that Nebuchadnezzar had ever seen. Verse 24 said, Then King Nebuchadnezzar was astonished, and he rose in haste and spoke, saying to his counselors, Did we not cast 3 men bound into the midst of the fire? They answered and said to the king, True, O king. Look, he answered, I see 4 men loose, walking in the midst of the fire. They are not hurt, and the form of the 4th is likened to the Son of God. Get this picture in your mind immediately. There are only 2 kinds of people in this story. Those who are bowing to the idol and those who are standing in defiance of the idol. There are only 2 kinds of people in this audience. 2 kinds of people watching by television. Those who are bowing to the gods of this world and those who are standing up ramrod straight for the God of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, because there is no other God. You will either embarrass sin, or sin will embarrass you. You will either offend God and please the world, or please the world and offend God. But you will never please both the world and God. James says a friend of the world is the enemy of God. I want you to hear that very clearly. If you get so chummy with the world, they really enjoy you. You need to check out how salt and light is dysfunctional in your life. Here's a second point. If you bow, you will burn. That is a promise from God. History proves this. If a nation will not bow to God Almighty, they will bow to a dictator. You are going to bow to someone. It is in the nature of humanity to worship. You can go anywhere in the world and talk about God to anyone you want. And that really doesn't matter, because God is many things to many people. But you drop the J-bomb, and suddenly things get sticky. As soon as you mention Jesus, you violated the federal law. Jesus said, I am the door, and no man comes unto the Father but by me. There are not many ways to heaven as you're being taught in the university. There is one way. It is the door, Jesus Christ. He and He alone is the path to salvation.